Welcome back. I am here to rip open my second set of packs from the resurrected OverPower card game with some nice Edgar Rice Burroughs and the World Legends. This time I'm going to be opening 10 packs instead of the 8 that I opened in my last video. But before we get to that, I want to talk about my first game of OverPower in 30 years. So yesterday I invited a few friends out and taught them how to play OverPower using these starter decks. They had a little bit of a difficult time catching on, most likely because I'm new to this too and didn't have them the answers that they wanted right away. We had to look up a few things, but in the end, I think I got a few people really excited. So the training match was Horror Menagerie versus Time Detectives, and that came down to the wire. Didn't use a lot of venture early on. That mechanic, to be honest, even to me, doesn't necessarily go over my head, but the strategy of it is something that I'm going to have to learn a lot. But then the second deck, the one that I actually played with one of the guys who was the most excited to play another match, was Ungodly Powers versus the Resistance. And this was a blowout. My first turn, I almost lost Zeus, so that was lucky to pull out the W. There we go. Here's the big man himself. So I had one turn where I got his 9, an 8, a 7, a 6, and a 5, and was just able to utterly wreck the other team. But realistically, once Hera came out, the game was over because Zeus just couldn't be hit. The fact that any hit that goes onto Hera doesn't count towards venture just seems massive. So this deck having the 2 8s compared to I think only a single 8 and all the other decks just made it such a hard deck to play against. So I can completely see why having a Zeus out on the field changes things. All right, so let's break into the packs. Still looking to get at least the Leonidas common so that I can play him. But aside from that, let's see. Pack number 1. Carson of Venus. Okay, he's new as well to me. Reserve, energy, and intelligence. Any attack made on his team may be moved to this card and is discarded after his hit. Okay, so that defends his whole team, which I think is what makes it a 1 per deck and can be played from reserve. So that's pretty nice. I mean, it just takes a single hit, so not necessarily the strongest, but still helpful. So void. Her character can't use energy. Well, I can slow Zeus down. And this one's an interesting one. I think I saw it online, a 7 or 5. I don't know if there's any asymmetrical ones like this aside from Carson's card. It's used to defend. I assume that it stays as the 7 and not acts as a multi once a hit lands. Make an addition. Okay. Big man Zeus. Jealous God was nice. Banishment, but Hera. This is just. This plus nice having another 9. That's always helpful because I want to stack that. It's just such a strong card. But, you got to use 23 points to get him. So. And those are always nice. If you lose in the battle, throw some hits and get it back. All right, so got teamwork, my first Barsoom, Heimdall, love those any characters. And Alt Art Sheriff. Alright. Definitely want to make a deck with him. Good 18 card. Those flaming arrows, it's just brutal if you can get it to land. Alright, and my first Captain Nemo. So I haven't seen his specials either, so let's see what he can do. Locks out specials. That's interesting. Can't be defended by a placed card. Bumps up Nemo's energy and brute force. Okay, so this one, a lot of the other ones that I've seen like this, like Deja Taurus, they bump up like a 6 to a 7. This one, 3s to a 7. So that one's actually really useful. And then protection, nice, 10 energy. Okay. Time Traveler, we've got his stack before. Then 6, teamwork. Nice, the Deja that I don't have. For card force, draw 3 cards and discard duplicates. Nice. And then look at that alt art. Oh man, the Cthulhu ones are just so cool. I have to compare. I'll have to grab my other one, but I think this is a different alt art than I had before. Let's see. All right, at least one of these seems to be an ultra rare because I've got nice Cthulhu being summoned and then afterwards. Look at them, they're both sick. I think I actually like this one more. I thought the lighting on that was going to make it one of my favorites, but nice pull there. I'm very excited about that one. Pack number 3. There he goes. Yep. Alt arts are definitely cooler than that one, but not a bad card. This is going to be fun to play. Alright, my first Victory Harbin. Another intelligence character. Another reserve character. Playing this into the deck, it's hard to trigger these. 3 multi, that's nice. Much better than the 4 in additional. Box universe cards. Trade 1 to draw 4 is nice, and then 7. That can be played from reserve. Cool. Baker Street. Korak, still haven't seen his card come up. Joan of Arc. There's the female teammates. Another teamwork and alt art Sherlock. Kind of looks a little bit clueless in all of his cards. I don't know why, because he's definitely got a clue. Alright, pack 4. Let's see if this pack's got any foils for us. Alright, Robin Hood. I got his cool alt art last time. This is my first stack of his. Everyone says the archer is one you can't just leave hanging. So he's got a 5 brute force that can go with a universe card. Okay. Still want to make these universe cards worthwhile. I think that... I wonder if that means it can be used as a teamwork, because it's not actually combined. It's not being... but we'll see. I'll have to ask the rules on that. A teammate may avoid a combat and then draw a card. Cool, but gotta have the right deck. Discard a card attack. Oof, multi plus 2 additionals. That's rough. Discard a placed is nice. Alright. I mean, that one per deck was pretty sweet, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something with Robin. Alright, so Wicked Witch. Van Helsing. I liked his set. Discard all the remainder of game or battle. Nice. Another multi. Another any character. I don't know if that one's going to see that much. Nice. There we go. I was looking for a foil and I got it. I do want more of these foil multis. It's so cool. So I think I've got a 5. I've got 2 4s now. This is my first foil. Side. And then Alt Art Mummy. Nice. That's pretty awesome. All right, pack number 5. Got Deja. Got the Mummy. I definitely like his set. Pursuit after concede. The 5 drain. Like the Mummy. Alright, another one of these Valkyrs. Another, I think I've gotten 4 of these so far, and still no sign of Korak. Legendary Escape. Cool Mummies. And then Alt Art 3 Musketeers. I don't know, it feels kind of childish, I guess. Not my favorite one. That and Sherlock so far have not been my favorite art pieces. Alright, foil stack. One of them's got to be coming up. John Carter. Okay. Nina Harker. Okay. Actually going to look at her cards because I've only got her in the starter deck so far. It's pretty cool. Played from reserve. 5 that can be defended or used for defense. 5 that can cut through. Offensively negate special cards and reveal her hand to defensively negate. Alright, negate's pretty handy. Oof, she got ugly there. Discard a placed card, again playable from reserve. So Mina is a pretty nice reserve character. Got a couple of 5s too. Be interested in seeing what her 1 per deck is. Teamwork. I still haven't gotten any of the Any Power Teamworks, so we're looking for that. Here's Time Traveler's awesome Knowledge of Tomorrow card. 10 Venture, and discard a 1 as well, or 2. Alright, 3 Musketeers. Okay. 3 Musketeers can play teamwork cards. I can see them and maybe Sheriff going together. They've got a bunch of 5s. He's got like a strength fighting deck, perhaps. There's Tarzan, Duel to the Death, and Mina Harker. All right. Not the red one. We're looking for the red, but it's still pretty cool. 4 packs to go. Let's get more foils. 1 is not enough in 10 packs. All right, Carson. Van Helsing, like him. Get this nice 6 multi. 3 an additional. Neither can be defended by a special. Love that. Yeah, his cards are just so cool. I mean, doesn't necessarily fit. So we got a 20, we'd have an 18, we have another 20, so it'd have to be another 18. Maybe with strength, so Mummy maybe could fit the bill, but I don't know. That would be a very good deck. Here's another one of Van Helsing specials, teamwork, and okay, alt art of the middle-aged angry mob. Middle ages angry mob, not middle age. I wouldn't be too worried about those, but at the same time, that's probably who's going to be in a mob. All right, so I've only pulled one of the actual angry mob stacks. I think it was the modern age one. So hoping to get some more. The 16, they filled in pretty good. I love how they can attack someone who can't be attacked. All right, here we go. Korak. So still, this is my first of him, still looking for Jane. Now, what does Korak do for 17? Can attack reserve. Hard to defend 3. Wow, okay. All attacks on Korak's teams are shifted to Korak and are -2 until he's KO'd. That's actually really cool. Just focus him down. And he's got an avoid. And a combined 4. So, I don't know. None of that's really speaking to me. Lancelot, nice. I'm glad I got his stack. He's another defensive character like Korak, but this one I'm actually interested to try out, even though a lot of people online are not too thrilled with what he's got. But I think this is so cool. Look, you know, you just defend, anything shifted over to him, it's weak. Bring back your sword and shield. Gives you a little bit of venture, so it's not just meaningless. And then the 5 multi that can be used to defend, so that can be, you know, block all the things that are shifted onto Lancelot. Move another hit so he stays alive. Affects venture too, so if you let a big one through, just get rid of it. And he's +2 in general from sword and shield, so, you know, just he's essentially +4 to everything that's coming to him. So he can use all these dinky cards to defend. I think it's a really cool card set. I'm interested to try him out in a combat deck. Ability to Kid. Teamwork. Monkey teamwork. Teamwork, and then another Invisible Man. Alt art. Still looking for his set. All right, this one's got to have a foil stack. It's noticeably heavier than the other packs. So let's get lucky. Mr. Hyde, my first Hyde. He's got crazy stats for 16 because it should be 17, 20, so he's +4. Get up to a 9. Yeah, could be kind of cool. Any power when beating up small guys. Played against the reserve. That's good because most of them are 6s. So if you have 2 6s and then the 8, you can KO your reserve character. Remainder of game, that's cool, and heals him. Not bad. Make him 4, 6, 7, 7. And then and he can make an additional attack against the reserve character. This is actually a cool play set. I'm going to form him into a deck of punching out the reserve, getting those easier venture hits. Most of the reserves, unless it's Cthulhu, is going to be weaker. Alright, that was cool. We got another 3 Musketeers. I don't really like them that much, even though they got some big hits. Teamwork, nice. And any home base, I like those. Teamwork and Korak. So I'm completely wrong with that foil stack idea. Too bad. Alright, last chance. Cthulhu, no foil stack there. Oh, my first Morgan Le Fay. Not a foil stack though, so this was not a great pull. No 1 per deck negate. Discard a placed and draw. Pretty handy. That's interesting. Swapped. All right, Morgan Le Fay. All right, Zorro 7. Another Zorro. That's interesting. Maybe combined with the universes. Attack, defend. All right. All right, another Modern Age. Intelligence, Teamwork, English Gentleman, and the Time Traveler. Alright, well that was not the greatest, but we at least got 1 foil multi from it. So I think Cthulhu is my favorite, followed by the Mummy, and then maybe Angry Mob, Mina, Sheriff, Invisible Man, I guess, and then these 3 at the bottom. I am not a fan of this old artwork here. This one looks kind of cartoony, and this one is funny, but you should not be clueless. Okay, well, that is the next set of Overpower. So it gives me more stuff to play with, and maybe I'll be doing another video soon. Thanks for watching.